Hi, this is Sham Shankar from Ekascloud. In this video, I will explain about a AWS service called AWS Certificate Manager. So, what AWS Certificate Manager is? So, this is a service which is used to issue certificate. So, what exactly is certificate? So, we have something called encryption in AWS. So, when we want to encrypt a data transfer or we have to encrypt at rest. So, for that, we need something called SSL and TLS certificate. So, what is exactly is SSL and TLS certificate? So when we want to transmit data securely, for example, let's say we have database in RDS and we want to securely transfer data from RDS database to the application which runs on EC2. For that, we have to send data securely so that it is not hacked in between the services. For that, we use something called encryption in transit. So this encryption in transit will secure data when transmitted between a service or a data center or a location in AWS. So for that, we use something called SSL or TLS certificate, which is a digital certificate which is issued by AWS, or it can be anything from the third party issuers. For example, let's say we are hosting a website for our business. So for that, we need SSL, or we need SSL certificate so that we can securely host our website, so that the transfer between the browser and the website will be secured and it will be encrypted. So to store this SSL or TLS certificate, we can use AWS Certification Manager, which will use to issue certificate. We can create, store, and renew those SSL or TLS certificate. So this certificate can be public certificate, can be signed by AWS Public Certificate Authority, or it can be imported. We can import the third party issuer certificate to AWS Certificate Manager so that we can use those SSL certification to enable encryption in transit. So there is something called enable encryption and rest. So what exactly is this is? So we are protecting data and encrypt them at rest with the encryption key so that it is unreadable without the key. For example, let's say we are storing a data in S3 bucket and we want to be that encrypted. So for that, we need to enable encryption at rest so that anybody who's accessing or reading the S3 object in the AWS account should have that encrypted key for decryption so that he or she can read the protected data and he can follow the remaining actions. So for that encryption at rest, we have something called AWS KMS key. So it can be AWS managed or customer managed. So encryption is two types: encryption in transit and encryption it at rest. So when we come back to AWS Certificate Manager, it can be integrated with Elastic Load Balancing, and it can be integrated with CloudFront, which is a content delivery network service, or it can be integrated with CloudFormation, which is a infrastructure cloud as a core service, which will provide template of the application we are doing. So this SSL or TLS certificate can be managed using AWS Certificate Manager, and there are two types of encryption: encryption in transit and encryption at rest. So, with the help of this service, we can manage these certificates. Thank you.